Welcome to the DIY Goalie Podcast, where hosts and goalie coaches Nathan Park and Connor Monday share their insights on how to become a better goalie.
Goalies, how we doing? Welcome back to the DIY Goalie Podcast, presented by True North Goaltending. How we doing? Nice to see everyone. Feels like it's been a while, honestly. I mean, it's only been a week, but I don't know. Just sometimes, when you're not on the pod, it feels like a month, so I missed all of you guys. Sorry I wasn't there last week. Did have some stuff to take care of, but I am back here today, and Nathan is on assignment for this week. So yours truly is back holding down the fort. I do have a couple of things that I did just kind of want to touch on today. I did just want to jump on the open borders thing that Nathan was talking about last week, kind of provide my couple thoughts on it, especially coming from the Outlaw Junior League side of things. I coached in that league. I actually had a good time in that league, but I know that there is some superstition and just kind of some negativity about it. So I did just kind of want to dive into that a little bit. And then as well as, because, we're doing a solo episode today, I did just want to tackle the, just kind of the technicality side of things, because we should be talking about that more, but we really don't. So we're going to jump into that in today as well. I did just want to touch on just a couple of housekeeping items before we get started into the pod today. We did finally release our summer camp schedule for the upcoming summer here. So if you do happen to find yourself in the Edmonton area, or if you are in the Edmonton area and you want to come train with us, we do have 3 different camps available. So here's what we got. We are offering a U9, U11 beginner goalie camp for I think it's the weekend of August 9th or August 8th and 9th there. So we are looking forward to that. So if you are a brand new goalie coming into the position, or maybe you played goalie for, a couple of months or whatever, and you do fall within the U9, U11 category, this would be the camp for you. It's going to touch on, the most basic of things. It's a 2-day camp, really, so we're not deep diving into a lot of like the heavy stuff. It's more so just the basics of the position, the skating, the tracking, the head trajectory, all that stuff. We're molding you into looking like a goalie, and then going from there. So that is one option that we are providing. So if you do fall within that category, definitely would recommend going into that. And then we have our week-long camp, which is the August 10th through 14th. This one is always a fun one. I always enjoy coming out to these. You will get 2 guaranteed ice sessions along with classroom and dryland. Thank you. So we do have kind of two different age groups with that. So we would have like our U9, U11 group, U13 maybe mixed in there, and then from there be U15, U17, U18, all that fun stuff. So that would be kind of falling within that category. So if you do want to come and train with us on that, again, like I said, 2 guaranteed ice times, classroom and dryland training mixed in there as well. I've been part of this. I've been part of the True North camp for, I guess this will be my third camp. Yeah. So I always exciting. Just getting to see the relationships, between goalies and, between coaches and goalies and such, and, getting to see a bunch of different goalies at a bunch of different age levels. So it's always a fun one. I used to do a camp in Leduc a very long time ago with a different goalie company. but it's the same dynamic really. So always enjoy going to those. And then lastly, this is a very exciting one for us. We're offering a ringette goalie camp. That'll be the August 21 through 23rd kind of weekend there. So this has been something that we've been kind of jumping on fairly more frequently this year. We did bring on 3 ringette coaches this year, and I did actually get to try my hand in coaching ringette once, and I was not very good at it. So we are offering that, and because there's not really a lot of development, if at all, for ringette goalies, so we are deep diving a little bit more into that as well. It has been something that I've been wanting to get into more, but obviously with all my other commitments and stuff, it's been hard to do that. So we do have all of that available. So again, you guys can go check all this out, TrueNorthGoaltending.com, or if you can go to our social media pages, you can find all that information there as well. So all of those bookings are live. So if you are interested in coming to work out with us, highly recommend doing so. And yeah, it's a great time, great coaches, great development. We everything's great about it essentially. So we are looking forward to that. All right, I want to jump into this here today. I want to start off with the kind of the open borders topic here for a second. I know Nathan's covered it last week, but I did just want to touch on the again, just the Outlaw Junior League side of things, because I do have quite a bit of experience with that. I did coach in what is now the defunct GMHL West league, which was an offshoot of the GMHL in Ontario. And so I was part of a couple of teams in that league, one of them being the High Prairie Red Wings, and then the other one now being the defunct Enoch Tomahawks. Going to touch on more of my time with the Tomahawks in particular. Again, I'm not going to get into like the real nitty-gritties part of it, but just I was part of that league, and so I know a lot of people have had their thoughts about it, and from my perspective, from my point of view on things, it seemed like we had a good program. We had, primarily Indigenous players, which is never really a bad thing. And so, but the development was still the same. We got ice times 4 to 5 days a week. I think it was actually 4 days a week. It would be an hour and a half-ish long ice slot. And we would basically do our thing, and so I made sure that at least two out of the 4 days were goalie development, or we were able to get some goalie development in there, and we were able to do our thing, and we were able to win games and win playoff rounds and such. I knew of and had heard of just kind of some of the negative stuff that was happening in there, but didn't really choose to involve myself in that, didn't really choose to pry anything into it. But I do know of players and do know of coaches, that, got screwed over or were screwing over people. So, again, just like Nathan was saying, like, it's all about fit, right? Like there are different programs out there that, some of them are good, some of them are not. So it's really a matter of, doing your own research and stuff. And I'm not saying like going to Facebook and posting in the Facebook groups, although, again, good to get perspective on that, but never really a good idea just to go based off of that either. You want to make sure that you are doing your own research, that you are asking the right questions, if any questions at all. And you're just, trying to make sure that what the organization is providing you is going to benefit you and or your goalie. So we want to that's just the biggest thing over anything. And we had some coaches and we had some goalies, that at least in my junior league, where we started off with 2 goalies and then we ended up having like 6 at one point, and even I was like, this is stupid. And so eventually we ended up letting some of them go, but yeah, I mean, the problem with leagues like that and organizations like that is because there is no overseeing body, so they can kind of get away with a lot more, however pleasant or not, I guess. So you just you want to make sure that, like, if you are going to commit to something like this, you need to understand the kind of the pros and cons with it as well. And so just being, just making sure that, you are of the understanding that you came maybe this may be unorthodox, or maybe this is something that, you are aware of, and, you are agreeing to this in some way, shape, or form. So, yeah, I mean, that is just kind of my kind of 2 cents on it. I mean, like Nathan was saying as well, like hockey has become so I guess it was always political, but it's become so business oriented, and that is essentially what it is. Like, we are in the business of, profiting, from the sport, and but you want to make sure that, if you are going to be somebody that is going to try and make money and try to, build a business out of this, that you are providing, competent, quality development at the same time. You want it. That's just the biggest thing, and you can put together a super team, and just have, and you can win every game, and you can win championships and such. But for some players, who want to move on and who want to prolong their career, maybe a team like that isn't going to be the best either. And that's across all levels. There was a post that I had seen, or a video that I had seen, talking about Team Canada from the World Juniors. And as much as I don't agree with this guy on a lot of things, I did agree with him on this, where, part of why Team Canada is struggling, to win championships, is because there's a lot of individual players out there. Because more than likely, some of these players, if not a lot of these players, are part of, we're part of teams that, we're part of, like a super team or a super league or anything. So all they know how to do is win championships, which is fine. But if you don't have the, hockey IQ to, I don't want to say lose. That's not the word that I'm looking for. But like, if you don't have the, the ability to lose, you are actually going to be struggling a lot more to win. Really is what it is. It's not exactly how I want to quote that, but I think that, that is something as well. So, like, if you are a part of a team that's, blowing out other teams and such, hey, great. But, you want to make sure that, that you're not sacrificing development at the same time. Or even if you are part of those teams that, that are just absolutely sucking wind, and, you're losing 13-2 or 13-1 or 4 or 20, whatever. You want to make sure that, you're still trying to get something out of it at the same day too, because as much as, you want to try not to be thinking about the future and such, you kind of have to be paying attention to that at the same time, which is always, it's hard to do, and it's hard not to do, essentially. I had a conversation with a goalie parent a while ago, and one of the things that we were discussing, just kind of with her daughter, was just the frustration in terms of, where is this here? The frustration in terms of, what's the point in, kind of, playing on these teams, and, that you're beating teams 13-0, 17-0, and traveling, to do that, and just to do that, and it's hard when the year's not challenging. I said to her, I was kind of joking with her. I was like, either you guys have a really strong team, which they do, or everyone just threw in the towel. Joking, obviously, but I think, and we've said it on other pods before, the best takeaways from this, whether you're on the team that's winning or whether you're on the team that's losing, is you get to see different sides of it, and you get to understand on both sides of it. But then, like, there's always something to take away at the same time too. Like, even with like right now, like with my AA team, we're kind of going through something which I think is really, really interesting. We're winning games still, but we're also losing games, which is never really a bad thing. But it's interesting too, because my goalies, who were in the top 10 in goals against average and save percentage this year, have kind of dropped off a little bit, which in my mind isn't a bad thing. I don't think we're even top 20 right now. It doesn't look like it, which isn't a bad thing. Again, not that stats really matter a whole lot to me, but we still have a good team. They're both still good goalies. We are just going through this thing right now where, hey, we're still staying the course. We're still doing things that we need to be doing, but maybe we're not getting the results, which is totally fine. We still need to be making sure that, we're doing everything that we need to be doing and going from there. That's development, that's still part of the development cycle at the end of the day. Would I like them to be back in the top 20 in goals against average or save percentage? Absolutely. Do I really care though? No, I don't, because in this league, everyone's going to make the playoffs, and you're still going to be, you are still going to be giving yourself a chance to do well and a chance to succeed. So it's I don't know. It's one of those things where, open borders, or just even like whichever program that you decide to go to does have its ups and downs. And, you need to understand, again, always at the end of the day, is what do you want to get out of this? What do you want to take away from all this? And, if the goal is to win, hey, great. What's the goal after that? Because that's the immediate goal. What's the goal after, the season? Do you want to make the jump from AAA to Junior A? Do you want to make the jump from, Junior A to major juniors, or major juniors to pro, semi-pro, whatever, right? That's the stuff that I don't think a lot of families consider, or a lot of players consider either, and maybe even some organizations as well. So I'll kind of leave it with this as well. I was having a conversation with one of our coaches a couple weeks ago, and he was asking me, like, how are my goalies, have they been considered for, the AAA team? Have they gotten any practice time, or have they gotten any playing time with them? And I said, well, one of them got called up as a backup, but not to my knowledge, any of them has been with, this AAA team. And he says, okay, well, now's about the time to start looking elsewhere. I'm like, what do you mean? And he goes, well, if they haven't been up with AAA team at all this year, or if very, very minimal, the likelihood of going to that, should they choose to go to that, is unlikely. But if they still want to stay competitive, or if they still want to, advance at all to the next level, whatever that may look like, they should start looking elsewhere. And so we kind of ended the conversation there because it was at the Christmas party, but something that I do want to kind of revisit at some point here before I start talking with my goalies about that. But that is just the interesting thing about all this. And so again, like at the end of the day, like I'm not worried about it a whole lot. Obviously, is it something that we want to strive for and get back up to? Absolutely. But, obviously there's 5 other guys that are on the ice first before, we even talk about that. So yeah. That's kind of all that I have on that, and just kind of my 2 cents on that. If anything, I know it's just a lot of words strung together, but, it is what it is. And, we move on from there. Okay, I wanted to talk about technicality today. Just kind of some of the technical stuff, and just kind of where we should be at, not necessarily where we should be at in our development, just kind of talk about, just kind of some skating, positioning aspects, and all that fun stuff. Really what I'm trying to say is that I hate when goalies are in the RVH, and we're still doing that, which, I'm going to have an old man yells at cloud moment here, but why on God's green earth are we still doing the RVH when the puck is in the far corner? What are we doing? Like, I understand habit. I understand, I don't know, just the instinct to do that, and thinking that, we're covering our bases here, we're sealing off. But the puck's in the far corner. why are we going out of our way to take ourselves out of position? Why are we going out of our way to, you know, just just why are we going out of our way to get ourselves to make ourselves getting scored on? That's the part that I don't understand. And so I'm going to try and label this as best as I can. When the optimal time to drop into the RVH is. We've talked about it before, but we're going to do it again. So puck's in the far corner. We should be staying on our feet. Okay, and what we should be doing is scanning the ice, scanning what's going on around us to figure out where our threats are, if any, and kind of figure out who's where. Now, if your name is Scott Wedgwood, you were able to take it one step further. You're able to pinpoint what basically brand of equipment that they're wearing, or what stick hand, or what stick, which way that they shoot on their stick. I'm not asking you to do that. Essentially, what we're trying to do is that when that puck's in the far corner, and whether the player's back is turned to us or not, we still want to find an opportunity to take a minute, scan the ice, figure out where our threats are, if any. Now, when that player, if he does, starts making his way towards the net, we want to kind of pay attention to the positioning of the net, or to kind of positioning where they are behind the net. And so, a lot, again, at this point, where the player will be coming directly at us, again, the instinct, understandably, would be to drop into the RVH. Sure. But, again, we want to be making sure that we are giving ourselves an opportunity to make the save at the same time. So, I would say, if that player is holding himself closer to the goal line, that's when we want to drop. Because more than likely, one of two things is going to happen. He's going to try and go for a stuff, or he might try and go for a quick wraparound. If the player is kind of hanging around closer towards the boards, maybe, but I wouldn't drop down into the RVH immediately. I would be starting on my post, and as soon as I see him coming around the net, and I'm looking at him behind the net, and I see that he starts to drive in tight, absolutely, drop down to the RVH. Please, do it. But the biggest thing is we want to just be making sure and paying attention to kind of where the player is on the ice, and just kind of where he is positionally, essentially. That's a big thing that we want to be making sure that we are doing. We don't want to be doing anything that's taking ourselves out of the play. I mean, even sliding. Goalies are still sliding across their crease, and it doesn't surprise me, but it does. And so we just want to start doing things, should be starting to do things, that is making it easier on ourselves and trying to take the most optimal route if we can. I had this conversation with actually my AA guys the other day. It's like, you got to get over on your feet. It's like, oh, but I feel faster sliding. It's like, well, no, you're not. All you're doing is just taking yourself out of the play, taking yourself out of position, and you are not giving yourself an opportunity to succeed. And so, I mean, hey, if you want to get there on your knees and pop back up, fine. But okay, then let's make sure that we're doing things properly. Let's make sure that we get the proper rotations, that we're loading our legs properly, and getting the push across and whatever, right? So, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of my old man yells at cloud rant here for a minute. Just definitely, I would definitely recommend to all goalies, take some time. If you do have, if your games are streamed or if your games are recorded, definitely go through that. I'm actually going to be going through mine later today. But the other thing as well is, again, we say it before, watch NHL games, watch pro games, or just watch other games in general. And if you have the in-goal subscription, you can do the pro reads as well, which I'm behind on. But we want to be making sure that we're still giving ourselves an opportunity to make plays, and we want to be making sure that we're giving ourselves an opportunity to succeed. And so, I don't know how else to say it. Like that's really what it is. That's really just what it boils down to at the end of the day. And so we just want to be making sure that we're doing everything that we can to have an opportunity to succeed. I definitely would like to start doing play breakdowns. I think that that would be something that I would like to start doing for the pod, or at least for the channel in general. I do actually have a video that I'm working on that I plan on getting out whenever I'm able to, but I am looking forward to doing that as well. So it's a shorter episode today. Didn't exactly come all that prepared, but just a couple of items that I wanted to talk about today, and just kind of go at it from there. Hopefully Nathan and I will be back together next week. We've just been struggling in terms of just finding time together. We do have a few guests lined up here as well that I want to get on. I know that people are tired of listening to us talk at the same time, so we are excited in doing that. So let's just wrap it up. We'll kind of go at it from there. Again, like I said at the start of the episode today, our goalie camps are live. We do offer a U11, U9 beginner camp, and then we have our week-long camp, and then we do also offer our ringette goalie camps as well. So we are looking forward to that. We do also have our remote coaching as well. Bookings for that aren't live yet on the website, but we'll make sure that we have the Google form in the show notes for you guys. Sounds like all that's been going off pretty well, so we're really excited about that. So this has been another episode of the DIY Goalie Podcast presented by True North Goaltending. Make sure you guys follow us on your favorite social media platforms, whether that be Apple, iHeart. Nope, that's podcast. Make sure you follow us on your favorite social media platforms, whether that be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever. All of it is at True North Goaltending, except on Instagram, because we like to be different. That one is YEG Goalie Coach. You can follow myself on Instagram at MondayGC. If you are listening on your favorite podcasting platforms, which is either Apple, iHeart, or Spotify, there we go. If you are a returning listener, thank you. Make sure you hit that share button. If you are a brand new listener to our little program, make sure you hit that follow button and hit the share button, because the more goalies that we are able to bring together, the better. If you are watching over on the YouTube side of things, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe button, and as well as the share button helps the algorithm. And again, same deal. The more goalies that we are able to bring together, the better. I do believe that we are currently sitting at 287 subscribers right now on the YouTube side of things. So if you guys can help us get to 300, that would be amazing. I got nothing else. Hopefully Nathan and I are back together next week, and we'll go at it from there. So until then, goalies, make some saves. We'll see you guys next one. Peace.